And I paid a lot more money for this mug than I would pay for a mug at Target. That makes me cherish this mug. That makes me understand the value of it and respect and be grateful for the skill and the learning that the potter had to use to craft this product. Your bread is no different. It might be a perishable product, but the people who value it will still pay a premium for a handcrafted artisan product made with high quality ingredients, carefully selected, and for that art that took you so long to hone. Welcome to the Breadwinner Podcast. This is the show for sourdough microbakery owners who are building a sustainable, successful, profitable business from their home. If you are already in business or if you're dreaming of starting one, this is the place for you. I'm your host, Caroline Bauer. I own a successful in-home sourdough bakery, and I am here to share everything I've learned that works and that doesn't, plus everything that I'm researching along the way so we can build thriving businesses together. Today, we're building a really... Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Podcast. It's Caroline here, and we are going to talk about another juicy topic that will help you grow your thriving sourdough microbakery. Today's topic has been on my list for a while, but I bumped it up after a conversation in our weekly group call with one of my Breadwinner Inner Circle members. We are going to be talking about raising your prices. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the mindset shift that will empower you to confidently raise your prices or set your prices where they need to be. So when I was first starting my microbakery a little over a year ago, I was in the same place as so many of you, pouring my heart and soul into this brand new business, putting in the long hours, working so hard, but also feeling like maybe the amount of work that I was putting in did not equal the amount of income that was coming in. So I knew that I had to adjust my prices in order to make the business sustainable. Otherwise, I couldn't keep on doing it. I was a little nervous, I'll be honest, but I definitely discovered once I did make the decision to raise certain prices that it was the absolute right decision, not just for my income, but also for my confidence and for the way that my customers saw the value that I offered. So today I want to talk to you about how you can make the same shift in your business if you're at a place where you might need to raise your prices. Are you ready? All right, let's get started. The very first thing to address here is the fears that come up around raising our prices. So you might be thinking, if I raise my prices, I will lose some customers. Or you might be worried that people will think that you're being greedy or charging too much for your bread. And sometimes the biggest hurdle of all might be the one that you are imposing and feeling like you don't have the confidence to ask for more. So these fears are very real, and you are not the only one who's experiencing them. But there is the truth, the flip side of this. The flip side is that underpricing is probably costing you more than you think. So when your prices are too low, a few things happen. Number one, you're paying the difference in your burnout, in your stress, in the time that you can't get back. If you are not charging enough to compensate you for the amount of work that you're putting in and the amount of money that you're investing into your ingredients and your equipment, you start to feel undervalued, and that affects how you show up in your business. You won't be showing up with the same excited energy. You'll be showing up feeling a little bit grudging, a little bit like you are not getting the return that you need to out of the work that you're putting in. So you absolutely deserve to be compensated fairly for your time, your energy, and your skill. So let's go ahead and tackle these fears head on and start shifting how you're thinking about your pricing. So before we talk about the tactical tactics, because you know I'm always coming in with something practical that you can apply to your business right away. But before we get there, we need to address the subconscious, the mindset piece, because really that's where the transformation happens. And that's where the biggest struggle lies. That's the part that's not tangible, but it is absolutely crucial to spend some time there if we want to actually make progress. The very first thing is for you to recognize your value. So you are not just selling bread. You are offering something handcrafted, made with intention, with love, with skill. The time that you have spent perfecting your sourdough, the quality of the ingredients that you choose, the care that you put into each loaf, That all has so much value. That is something that a grocery store cannot replicate. No matter how bougie the store, they cannot provide the same level of intentionality and care and handcraftedness that you can when you are creating your products. So, when you start to see what you offer as something truly special, it becomes a lot easier to charge accordingly. Here's an example sitting right in front of me. I am drinking a cup of tea. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my beautiful stoneware mug is made by hand, and it is a true experience. Every time I drink my tea or coffee from a handcrafted stoneware mug, I know that this was created by a skilled worker, and I paid a lot more money for this mug than I would pay for a mug at Target. That makes me cherish this mug. That makes me understand the value of it and respect and be grateful for the skill and the learning that the potter had to use to craft this product. Your bread is no different. It might be a perishable product, but the people who value it will still pay a premium for a handcrafted artisan product made with high quality ingredients, carefully selected, and for that art that took you so long to hone to be able to create that consistent, delicious, nourishing product. The next part of the mindset to address is, and it may be a buzzword, but it's an abundance mindset. This is addressing the fear that there is not enough to go around, or that there are not enough customers willing to pay what you're charging. And that is absolutely not true. Even in the smallest of communities, there are going to be customers who will value what you're offering. Now, on the flip side, there certainly are the customers who do not value what you're offering and they want to buy their bread from the grocery store. Those are not your customers. Those are not the people you're speaking to. And you can just completely, you do not need to worry about them at all. Do not waste any energy or effort trying to teach them why your product matters, but instead use language and educate and address the people who value your artisan handcrafted product. And there are plenty of those people out there, and they are willing to pay for what you're offering. Part of this comes into just the belief that those people are out there and that they will appreciate what you bring to the table. Part of your mindset shift here also requires thinking long term. So, right now, your pricing may be getting you by, but is it sustainable? Is it going to allow you to grow? Can you pay yourself? Will it give you the space to take a day off, to invest in better, bigger equipment so you can scale your production, or maybe even hire help? If your current pricing keeps you stuck in survival mode, it is time to think bigger. If all you can do is buy the ingredients for the next week and maybe set aside a little bit into savings, then it's time to shift your prices, maybe add some higher price point items to your menu, but you need to make some changes so that this work will be sustainable. So many bakers, this is a little tangent, but so many bakers get started, they get so excited about the idea of selling their sourdough, and they sell for a month or they sell for 2 months, and they fizzle out because they are not charging enough to make it worth it. Their systems are inefficient, maybe they haven't invested in the right equipment. And so that is what this podcast is, hopefully the antidote for that you are equipped to build a business that's built to last and that's burnout proof so that you can stay for the long haul and be the baker in your community that people think of when they think sourdough. All right, the final and very important step in shifting your mindset is detaching your emotion from your pricing. This is so crucial. This can be hard, especially for women. We tend to see pricing as a reflection of our worth. And when we do that, it becomes personal. But pricing is not personal. It is a business decision and it is a very important one. So if you can separate the two, you'll feel a lot more confident about making adjustments that reflect the true value of your product. Some people get nervous about charging a certain amount, especially if your primary customers are your close sphere of friends and family. Now, again, another little tangent. It is important to break out of that friends and family sphere if you want to grow your business. But if those are your primary customers right now, it is easy to see how you can feel nervous or charging more, raising your prices. So you need to just disconnect the emotion, just be straightforward, black and white. If you want to continue growing this business, then you are going to need to price accordingly. So, with all of that said, and you may need to revisit those steps, maybe even break out your journal and ask yourself some questions about what is holding you back? Where are your fears? What mindset shifts need to happen? What blocks are holding you back from being able to raise your prices? What does it feel like when you think about raising your prices? Does it feel really scary? Do you feel a lot of resistance? What is the worst thing that will happen if you raise your prices? Will you lose a customer here or there? Maybe. Maybe you'll lose the customers who are not your ideal customers. Maybe someone resists a little bit and grunt and groan. Maybe you'll get a random hater on Facebook, and those are not your people. You can let them roll off your back. But the worst that can happen is that you lose a few people who were not your ideal customer anyway, and you begin to attract the people who truly value the handcrafted, intentional nature of the product that you're offering. All right, let's get practical. This is my favorite part, of course, because this is where I want you to be able to apply some takeaways directly to your business to see immediate change. So, if you are ready to test the waters with raising your prices, here are a few strategies to try. So, to back up just a little bit, we've talked about the mindset. But one important question to address is, how do I know if I actually need to raise my prices? The key indicator here is if you are just in survival mode, if your bank account is nearly drained every week before your orders come in, and all you can do is buy the next week's inventory, that means you need to raise your prices. If you're finding that people are pushing back on your pricing already, but you're still selling out, you might need to raise your prices so that the right people who value your product will be are the ones that you're speaking to. You don't want the people looking for grocery store price bread. If you price yourself out of that market, they won't even look at you, and you don't even need to worry about them. Another indicator that you might need to raise your prices is if you are the lowest priced baker in your community. If you check out the menu of bakers in your area and their prices are higher than yours, and you are the lowest baker around that you can see, that's a pretty good indicator that you need to raise your prices. People perceive value in connection with prices. Think about Walmart versus Target. Target is generally priced higher, and most people perceive Target as a little bit higher quality. Whether or not that's true does not matter, but the fact is they convey a little bit more of an elevated experience, and people are willing to pay for it. Consider other retailers in your area. Consider the luxury version and consider the mainstream version. And understand they may be offering a very similar product, but if you want a luxury experience, you're going to shop there. If you want the cheaper mainstream experience, you're going to shop there. And people can make their own decision. It's not up to you to make their decision, but you want to speak the language that the luxury customer is going to resonate with versus the mainstream customer. You're not trying to be affordable necessarily, unless if that is in the heart of your business mission. And in that case, you need to make decisions that help you provide an affordable product, such as maybe cutting back on your inclusion flavors or sourcing your flour somewhere that allows you to offer a more affordable product. So if you resonate with any of that, if you're the lowest price in your market, if you are not making any money, if you're not able to set aside money to savings or to pay yourself, then you need to start to raise your prices. So here are some ways that you can do that. Number one, start small. So you don't have to overhaul your entire pricing structure overnight. Try increasing your prices or even the price on just one product by a dollar or 50 cents or 10% and see how it feels. Often you'll find that your customers don't even flinch. Prices are going up everywhere. It is just a part of the world that we're living in right now. People understand that the cost of doing business has gone up, and so retailers, including small in home bakeries, have to raise their prices accordingly. So the customers that you're speaking to, the right customers, are buying from you because they love what you offer, not because it's the cheapest option. Or one kind of practical way that I increase my prices over time without much of an impact on my customers is when I roll a new product out onto the menu, I price it a little bit higher than maybe I would have when I first started my business. It feels natural. So, some of my higher price point items balance out the ones that have not really changed since I started my business a year ago. For example, my original artisan sourdough loaf has stayed the exact same size and the exact same price since I started my business. I increased the price of my inclusion loaves by $2 at the beginning of the year. And then when I roll new products out or add a new flavor to the menu, occasionally I'll go ahead and increase the price a little bit to reflect the cost of those ingredients. That can be a way that you can just go ahead and bump up the price without having to offer any explanation because it's something brand new to the customers and not a product that they have been accustomed to buying at a certain price. Second, when you raise your prices, make sure that you are communicating the value. Tell the story of what goes into your bread, whether it's the organic flour, the overnight fermentation, or the years that you've spent perfecting your craft. When customers understand the care and the craftsmanship and the intentionality and the heart, the love that you pour into your product, they'll feel good about paying more for it. Finally, when you're raising your prices, remind your customers why your bread is worth the investment. So hear me on this. Do not apologize for a price increase. Instead, you can use it as an opportunity to reaffirm the quality of what you offer. You can even frame it as a benefit to them. This could sound like, by investing in the best ingredients and continuing to improve my business, I'm making sure that you get the freshest, most delicious bread possible. It was after a couple of months in business that I realized I really needed to raise my prices, and I did it right around the beginning of the year. So I gave my customers a little window of time. I said, due to the rising costs of ingredients, you'll notice an increase on the prices of some of my products. This price increase will take effect on January 1st or whatever day. So if you want to take advantage of the current pricing, go ahead and place your order this week. I had zero negative feedback. It just rolled out smoothly, and customers just accepted it. They honored my decision, they respected it. I think I even had people say, absolutely, you need to raise your prices. So people will understand, and ultimately, they'll be more encouraging and receptive than you probably think, especially if you just approach it with complete confidence in a way that communicates that you are making decisions to do good business, to serve them well, that in order to continue serving them, to ensure that your business can continue to serve the community, you need to raise your prices a little bit to make sure that you stick around. They will understand, they will support you, they will continue to love you, especially when you're sharing from your heart with all of your authenticity and sincerity as the human behind the brand. So, here's your challenge. Review your current pricing, look at it through a new lens. Does it reflect the value that you provide? Is it sustainable for the long term health of your business? If you have an organic option with freshly milled grains and you have another option that does not have the freshly milled grains, the one with the freshly milled grains should be priced higher to reflect the value and the uniqueness of that product. So take a look at all of those things and make sure that you're pricing accordingly to reflect your value. Make sure that your pricing is sustainable for the long-term health of your business. So if your answer is no as you review your prices, it's time to take action. So go ahead and start small, maybe tweak the price on one thing at a time. Maybe you decide to change your prices at the beginning of the year or the beginning of the month. Give your customers a little bit of time. But regardless of when you do it, you absolutely deserve to be paid fairly for the incredible work that you do, and your business deserves the chance to grow. I hope today's episode has been super helpful to you. I hope that you're able to take the tidbits that serve you and apply them to your business. As always, if you are not subscribed to the show, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss an episode. They drop every Monday and every Thursday. And if you haven't taken a moment to rate and review the podcast, that would mean the world. That helps other bakers find the show. It helps bump us up in the search engines on the podcast platforms so more and more bakers can help grow businesses that are thriving and burnout proof and support their life and bring them joy. If you need some one-on-one guidance to review your pricing or tackle a challenge in your business, I am here for you. I have coaching slots available throughout the next month. And you can book a one-on-one call with me where we can tackle a challenge in your business, create an action plan, and get you moving forward to the next level, whether that's hitting another revenue goal, whether that's planning out your seasonal events or creating your goals for 2025. I am here to support you. You can book that one-on-one call with me down in the show notes. And I would absolutely love to coach you to the next level of success in your business. All right, I will be back soon with another episode, but until then, happy baking.